Jude, did you come down here to help me work on my car?
No, sir. I'm gonna go play video games.
Oh, man. I can't get any good help around here. Well, maybe one day he'll want to hang out and help me. So in this video, I'm back on the Model A trunk lid project. I'm really happy with the progress that I made in the last video, so I decided to go ahead in this video and try to knock out as much as I can of the damage to this inner panel. So let me recap what we did last week. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that we're just trying to save this old rough and rusty trunk lid. And last week we cut this piece out. Got that rusty stuff cut out. And we got this piece to fit that we cut out of another trunk. Now, in case you're new to the channel, let me show you what we're working on. This is a 28 Model A special coupe that I'm putting on a 32 frame. And this is the engine going into the car. It's a 55 DeSoto 291 Hemi. Got 4 Stromberg carburetors on it. We're putting a T5 manual transmission in it and a 57 Ford 9-inch rear end. We're going to put some early Ford wheels on it. And it's going to be a lot of fun when I get it done. So that ought to be all you need to know to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And that's not even all I got to work on. I got this flathead V8 engine project going. We're going to save this engine and get it running. I got this 32 Ford 4-door sedan that we're going to do some work on soon. I got this 32 Chevrolet 5-window coupe. I got this 37 Ford pickup, and I've also got another one of these 28-29 special coupes in storage, and I've got a couple of rat rod top bodies sitting out back, a 28-29 2-door sedan and a 28-29 Roadster pickup. So as you can see, I don't need any more projects to work on. What I do need is more time, more money, and more people to hang out with. So go ahead and hit subscribe, and let's get to work. All right, so there's quite a bit to be done, but I just got to pick somewhere to start. So I think I'll start right here. Go ahead and hammer this out right here, get this straight, and get that crack fixed right there. Then we'll find something else to do. Okay, back to the drawing board. That's working pretty good. All right, so I got it looking pretty good. Got my hands good and dirty too. But I got it looking pretty good. And now what I've got going on is this little lip here that's sticking down. It's bent under right here, and I got to figure out some way to get under there and get that pulled down. How can I get under there? All right, so let's see what kind of progress we're making. It looks pretty good there. Got that lip straightened out. That was kind of tough to do. This pick worked pretty good for that. I wouldn't suggest beating on these kind of tools unless you just have to, but this is an old cheap one from Harbor Freight. It'll be fine to beat on that, and it did the job. Now I think what happened was somebody stuck a pry bar right here and bent that area up, and when they did, they stretched this pretty bad. I got most of the stretch out of it. It's in pretty good shape, but I think what they were trying to do is I think they were trying to access these holes where they put the hinges on, because what they did when they converted this trunk to a rumble lid is they did not put the little riv nuts in here, little threaded inserts like you were supposed to have. They bent this up and stuck their hand up in there and started nuts on the back side of here, and that's what the problem is. At least I think that's what they were doing here, because there were nuts on the back side of these bolts when I took those hinges off. So yeah, they just made a mess out of it. So now what we got to do is it's also stretched pretty bad right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start welding and hammering as I go to try to get it worked out to the edge. It'll be fine. It's not really going to matter for what that area of the car is. That's not really going to matter. Getting it structurally sound and getting it kind of halfway in shape is what really matters at this point. Well, my TIG welding has improved, that's for sure. All right, so I'm in pretty good shape right here now. It's pretty straight. It's not perfect, but if that was on the outside of the car, that would be straight enough. Body filler would take care of it. So I got it pretty close. Definitely good enough for the inside of a trunk lid. I had to weld up a couple of spots in here where it was cracked. That little lip, I straightened it out and it had some cracks in it. So I think that lip actually turned out pretty good considering the shape it was in. And my TIG welding here was definitely better this time than it was the last time I attempted a TIG weld. So I'm getting better at that, that's for sure. So I'm happy with that area. I'm gonna move on now. So let's move on to this right here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and straighten this out now. And then I gotta figure out what else I'm gonna do. All right, well, I got that pretty good. So let's stick this up here and see how it's gonna fit now. Oh yeah. That's pretty nice right there. Put some clamps on it now. So now that these two areas are done, right here and right here, I gotta pick the next spot I want to start on. I guess we need to move the tools out of the way and evaluate the situation, see what all's left to do, try to find something that I can fit into this video, because I think we're getting pretty long on the video. But I do want to get a little bit more done, so see what we can do here. All right, so here are my options for something to do. I got 4 holes here on each side that had to be welded up. I have 1 hole right here on each side. Now that hole looks factory to me because my other trunk lid has those same 2 holes in the same spot, and they're punched in there just like these. So I believe that's going to be factory, but I don't know what I would ever need them for, so just going to weld them up. I think it'll look better. And I got this area right here that needs to be addressed, where that's where they moved the latch from up there. This was originally a trunk. They moved the latch from there to here, converted this to a rumble lid, and they got that pretty nasty right there. So probably just going to cut a section out of my other trunk, my parts trunk that I cut that piece out of, and make it to go right there. And then what else? Well, looks like that's about all of it. I do have a hole in the outer skin that they drilled through to put this latch in right here that I'll need to address. So when I cut this out to put a patch in right here, I'll repair that skin while that's out of the way. So yeah, that's pretty much it right there. So I think I'll start on this area right here and get a patch made to go there, and that's where I'll finish this video up. All right, so I got my old parts trunk lid back up here, and I want to show you this difference right here. This is a 28 or 29 style trunk lid, and this right here, this one is a 30 or 31 style, and you can see the difference there in the rain gutter area. See, this one has that hump right here. That is the only major difference between a 28, 29 and a 30, 31 trunk lid. And on the car, on a 28, 29, you have this notch right here to clear that hump in that trunk lid right here. But on a 3031, you don't have the notch in the rain gutter to clear this. So, since the trunk I'm going to be using is a 3031, I don't need that humped area, so I'm not going to cut this part out and transfer it over here to this trunk. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here in this area here and just cut me out a section right here of that area and weld it in right here. I think that'll work. All right. All right, let's check it out. Uh-oh. Mr. Ford, what were you thinking? You just messed up my plans. Fits perfect. It fits perfect. It doesn't fit at all. Ah. So who would have ever thought that you could put this across here and those three holes not be lined up? Look at that. Got this one lined up, that one lined up, and look at that. I would have never thought that. Those three are lined up. So why did he design this thing, or why did Henry Ford's people that he had designing for him, or whatever the deal was, why did they offset that hole right there? Why did they do that? Oh, I know why they did that. I know why. Because this hole is shifted further forward, or actually back, to clear this area on the 2829 models. And in 3031, when they stopped putting this in, they just didn't change the placement of that hole. So now that throws a wrench in my fan. But I can't let that stop me, so I'm going to change my plan just a little bit, but I'm still going to make it happen. So plan B. All right, that's perfect. All right, guys, things are looking real good. Now that I got this piece cut out, I've got access right here to that hole in the outer skin. So I can fix that now, I can get to it. And this piece here fits in really nice. I can get it in there with one hand. Yep, there we go. It fits in real good. All that needs is welding. So while I'm fixing that hole in the outer skin, I'll go ahead and weld this hole here up, and then that'll be ready to weld in. But I've got to figure out what I'm going to do right here, so I'm going to be thinking about that a while. Do I want to try to section this piece in here? To repair that? Or do I somehow want to try to straighten that back like it originally was, bend that lip back down? I don't know about that. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit, see what I want to do. But we've got all this fixed and all this fixed and this patch made in this video, so I'm pretty happy. That's quite a bit of progress, I think, for one video. All right, so I think what I'm going to do in the next video on this old trunk lid is I'm going to figure out what to do around this hole, make some kind of decision on that. I don't know if I'm going to put a piece of this in, patch it, or if I'm going to try to straighten out the original metal. We'll see on that. But I want to go ahead and weld up that hole in the outer skin, and I want to go ahead and weld in this patch panel that I just made just a few minutes ago. I want to get all this area took care of in the next video. And then after that, we've got to repair this dent right here, and we've got to repair these areas on each side around where the hinges were mounted. We got to get that done, and then we're going to be down to fixing this bottom section and getting this area welded up right down here. So I told you guys there'd be a few videos on this, or several videos on this, and there have been a few, but the progress is good. Appreciate you guys watching. My boy was really excited about being in the video. I hope that wasn't too corny for you guys. He's 6 and he just had a good time doing it. So appreciate you guys watching, hanging out with me another week at Phillips Hot Rod Garage. I'll see you guys in the next one.